Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. 'Tis the season. Man, it's been a busy season. I work for UPS, so, it is what it is. It's been a time. Videos have been sporadic, but we're hanging in there. We're doing everything we got to do on the family front. But I wanted to come to you guys today, and I actually have several things I want to talk about, but those videos are going to have to wait because it's the holiday season right now, and I realize this can be one of the most lonely and isolating times for some people. If you've experienced loss, grief, you might be feeling like the holidays aren't what you want them to be, and they're really not the celebratory, festive occasion that most people feel. Or maybe you work a job like I do where things are really hard sometimes. It's our busiest season, and my job is kind of hard all year round. But some people are just find themselves in spots where things are rough. I think a lot of us go through rough patches from time to time, and if you're not in a rough patch right now, enjoy it because there's probably one coming right around the corner. I want to talk about something in the Word here today. And I'm going to have a little pour here of Old Forester 1924 as I kind of read and contemplate some of the Word, Whiskey in the Word. That's what we do here. We're going to do more of these going into 2026 as time allows. They'll continue to be sporadic, and I'll do them when I get a chance. But today I just want to let you know that if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling isolated during the holidays, you're not alone. It happens. It happens to many, many other people. The biggest lie about feeling isolated and alone is that you're the only one that's experiencing that. And that's not true at all. So we're going to talk about a little bit of that in regards to the Word. We're also going to talk about some professional help that you might need to seek out. And I'm going to speak from some personal experience here as well. So with that said, cheers to wrapping up 2025 and for 2026 being the best year yet ahead of us. So, man, 1924 it is my profile. Man, such a big fan of this. Just wish it were cheaper and easier to find. All right. If you're watching this video, I haven't looked at the channel metrics. I don't know the typical demographic, but if you're anywhere near my age, men of my age are the highest likelihood of making some decisions that end everything. I don't know what you can or can't say on YouTube anymore these days. I hear people saying weird things like unaliving themselves. But men of our age who feel lonely and feel like they don't have a purpose in life, this is that kind of age range. Once you get into your 40s, 50s, where, taking your own life is at a much higher risk. Feeling lonely, feeling isolated, that sort of stuff, it's something that affects all of us on some level. I mean, I'm married to a wonderful woman. I have a wonderful marriage, have a wonderful daughter, and I still feel lonely and isolated sometimes. It's a part of, I think, our human condition, and it's okay to not be okay. I think that's what we don't hear as men. And oftentimes it takes more courage to admit that you're not okay than it is to just grin and bear it and try to get through like everything's all right. Like, that's not courage. That's just being stubborn. Admitting that you're not okay and seeking help is huge. I'm a huge fan. How old am I? I was born in 83, so I'm 42 years old. I always got to do the math. I'm 42 years old. I've been in counseling for literally half of my life, in and out of counseling, therapy, all sorts of different treatments, because I wasn't okay. And I had a pretty traumatic childhood, and I didn't deal with it. It came back around and dealt with me. If you don't deal with your mess, it will come back around and it will deal with you. So I would recommend just engaging and taking things on your terms rather than letting life come after you and, reckon with you in that way. You don't want that. That's a bad situation. Trust me from personal experience here. But going into the holiday season, I just want to say, if it doesn't feel joyous, if it feels like life is heavy, these are normal feelings. We all go through them sometimes. If you're a spiritual person like me, we're going to talk a little bit about that. But even if you're not, get professional help. Seek somebody out, or seek out some friends, or understand that men build relationships and bonding through shared activities oftentimes. So try to find something that you're interested in, get involved in a group so that you can get plugged in, be a part, and not feel so alone that way. Be proactive. Don't let this stuff fester, because it will take you down, man. It will take you down. And only you can fight back against these feelings. If you just sit in isolation and keep yourself alone, it's going to get heavier and heavier, And honestly, this is the perfect example where whiskey in the word is probably not a good thing. This is for the good times, not the bad times. I would recommend, if you're a whiskey fan, you need to take a break. It's okay to take a break. Whiskey will be there when you come back around in a much healthier position. You don't need to be using this as a crutch or a band-aid if things are bad. I want to share a message right now of hope. I have been in bad spots in my life, and I know there's hope on the other side. And even when it feels dim, and even when it feels dark, and even when it feels like there is no hope, I know that if you keep going and you're pressing towards the right things, there are better days ahead. You just got to get through where you're at and to where you're going. And you can do that. You can do that if you take the right steps. Professional help, and I wouldn't even say or, I would say and. Professional help, yes. And I'm going to read Matthew 11, verses 28 through 30. And this is Jesus talking. These are his own words. He says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened." Are you weary and burdened? I certainly am, oftentimes. And I've been very weary and very burdened in the past. Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And this is a study Bible, so I'm just going to read some of the stuff down here that's notated because I think it's important as well. It says, "A yoke is a heavy wooden harness that fits over the shoulders of an ox or oxen. It is attached to a piece of equipment the ox are to pull. A person may be carrying heavy burdens of sin, excessive demands, oppression and persecution, or weariness in search for God. Jesus frees people from all these burdens. The rest that Jesus promises is love, healing, and peace with God, not the end of all labor. A relationship with God changes meaningless, wearisome toil into spiritual productivity and purpose." What Jesus is saying is, come to me if you're burdened and weary. I will give you rest. My yoke is easy. He's saying that I've got it. I will carry the heaviness if you will let me. And he says, and this is key, learn from me. Read his word. Get to know the character of Jesus. Knowing the character of Jesus and realizing that he felt like you were worthy enough to give his life for your salvation. If you believe in him through faith, that's what he thinks about you. So if you feel isolated and alone, you certainly are not. That's a lie. And that's something that these lies creep in, and they can poison you if you let them. That's not what Jesus is saying at all. He's saying, I got you. Come to me if you're tired, if you're run down, if life is getting the best of you. Come to me. I got you. Just rest in me, learn from me, and it's all going to be okay. Through counseling and through Christ, I came back from some of the darkest days I have ever experienced. And I'm fully confident that you can too. But you have to seek the help that you need, and you have to seek the hope that you need. And the hope that you need is in Jesus Christ. Jesus is the best. And if you don't, this is the best way I can say it. Jesus is the best. And if you don't feel like Jesus is the best, then you definitely don't know the character of Jesus. And the good news is that you can easily learn the character of Jesus just by reading the Gospels, which are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I'd always recommend people just start with reading John. Read the Gospel of John. They make those books. You can even find them online. Just check it out. See what this character of Jesus is all about. I recommend maybe even checking in if you got some doubts, which are totally normal. His own disciples who saw him perform miracles and heal people and bring people back from the dead, they witnessed this stuff in person and still doubted. Having doubts is not a problem. It's a human thing to do. But just research the character of Jesus. Spend some time getting to know the character of Jesus. I promise you, it will change your life, because that's what he does. He changes lives. He saves us. And he is the Savior that we need. So I say all that here in the holiday season, not knowing if I'm going to get the opportunity to put another video out before the end of the year. I just want you to know that if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like it's all a bit too much, or if you're just feeling so isolated that it's a heavy burden for you, Jesus has got you. And also, please seek professional help, man. This is your mental health, and being strong enough as a man to say that I need help is one of the most strong and courageous things you can possibly do. Through Whiskey, my wife and I have raised a bunch of money for mental health charities. Through Whiskey, I have helped co-found a charity organization that supports multiple different causes, including cancer, veterans, children, mental health as well. And this organization and my wife's fundraising efforts have raised, we're pushing into $250,000 in 2026 for people who need help. And 5 years ago, none of this stuff was even in my 5-year plan. So you never know what God can do with you. You never know where God can take you. I feel like I'm fulfilling a purpose in my life that I never even knew I could possibly do. All because I'm seeking God. I'm taking the next right step. I'm taking care of myself, my loved ones. I'm making sure that no matter how dark the days feel, I'm getting help, I'm taking care of myself, and I'm pushing towards something better. Okay? Better days are ahead if you're feeling struggle in this season. I just want to encourage you, man. I want to encourage you. I want to, I think a lot of guys, a lot of men feel like the most manly thing you can possibly do is put on a strong face and pretend like nothing's bothering you. And I would say that, the strongest thing you can do is taking that burden off your shoulders, sharing it with someone, asking for help if you need it. And I'm preaching to the choir here, dude. I'm the pot calling the kettle black, because I don't want to ask anybody for help. I grew up with trauma. I don't feel like I can rely on other people, and so I try to do everything myself. That is not realistic, okay? It's just not. We were built for connection. We were built for community. We were built for each other. So find a community, get plugged in, whether it be, if you want to go the church route, small group is a fantastic way to go. I've got more brotherhood through Whiskey than anything else, but I've had car communities. I've had so many different hobbies that I've been involved in where I've found brotherhood and community. Get plugged in, man. Take care of yourself. Your mental health is not a game. And also, inevitably, if you're not taking care of yourself and you're just stuffing this stuff down, not only is it going to handle you at some point, it's going to come out sideways towards the people in your life between now and when it handles you. You're going to hurt other people. And I firmly believe that most of us don't want to hurt other people, but we lash out, we act out, we treat other people in ways that we shouldn't treat them because we're feeling emotions that we're not dealing with. So for your own benefit, I implore you, ending out this year and leading into 2026, get the mental health straight, get your spiritual life straight. It's worth it, man. It's worth it. I've been down this road. I've been down dark days where I didn't know if me being alive was the right answer. And I'm telling you, man, on the other side of the problems are brighter days. You gotta fight for them, and it's worth it. It's worth it. So you're not alone, and Jesus is ready to help you. So you just have to get to know him and ask him to take that burden off. He's got you. So I'm going to end it there. I hope you have a great Christmas. I hope you have a great New Year's. And if you are in a spot where you feel like that's not going to be the case, I pray that you get some help. It's out there. Check out To Write Love on Her Arms. To Write Love on Her Arms. To Aloha. So if you just write TWOL, wow, I need to write this down. I was always that kid in class that could not spell out loud. Whatever To Write Love on Her Arms, if you do the first letter of each of those words, TWOLHA, to write love, to write TWLOHA on her, yeah, TWOLHA.com / they have a get help tool is what I'm trying to get at here. Check that out. They can hook you up with somebody. That's a charity organization that we support. They are fantastic. Get some help. Take care of yourself in this holiday season so that you can take care of the people that you love. Better days are ahead. With that said, cheers. I will say, man, I know I have a bad habit when something's really important to me. I like to say it 3 different ways to really drive the point home, and it can be repetitive. I feel like this was one of those videos. This is something I do want to work on in 2026. But I mean this stuff, man. Like, this stuff matters, It matters, and that's why I say it so many different ways, because I just really want to drive the point home. But this right here, 1924, this is a whiskey that, for the remainder of my evening here tonight, I'm going to sit down on this. I'm going to sit down with this pour, with this Bible right here. I'm going to read the verses I just read you guys, and I'm going to reflect on where I've been. Honestly, if I'm being truthful, bad situations I put myself in, or other people in my life, adults in my life as I was growing up, bad situations they put me in that caused trauma, bad situations I put myself in my adult life and teenage life. I'm going to reflect back on those. I'm going to reflect back on the goodness of God, the grace of God, the mercy of God. Thank the good Lord in heaven above that I don't get what I deserve, because I am a mess left to my own devices. And we all are. But you don't have to carry it yourself. So I'm going to end it there. I appreciate you for tuning in. If you're watching this, it's not a mistake. I mean, the algorithm is doing the algorithm things, but God is always working in all of our lives. I mean, everybody, even if you're not religious, even if you're not spiritual, we all know that God works in mysterious ways. So if you're watching this, it's probably for a reason. So I wish you the best. We'll see you next year. Cheers.